Hello, everyone. Welcome to your restorative practice. Today, I want to focus on particular body part that can give us a lot of trouble as our bodies age and as we tend to be a culture of sitting a lot. And that is the QL muscles, which are basically like the supportive low back muscles, quadratus lumbarum. And they can get pretty tight, but not only tight, they can be kind of weak. So I say that in acknowledgement that with a restorative practice, when we're asking our muscles to be passive, to relax, that we also have something in our lives that is supportive of strengthening and keeping your body mobile. So it's important to have both of those practices in your life. All right, so we'll start off seated. And what I'd recommend is that because the back muscles tend to be pretty tight and weak, that you can check this out in yourself, that sitting upright, like maybe if you tried to stretch your legs out, it wouldn't allow you to sit upright for very long without feeling like you really have to do a lot of work in the quads, or that low back is kind of rounding and pulling your chest forward. So a way to help counteract that is to pull something underneath the sits bones, like a couch cushion or a folded blanket, or if you have yoga blocks at home, you could use those. So when you do that, it tilts the pelvis forward. This is called an anterior tilt. And then it allows you to sit up with that natural S curve in the spine. Shoulders can stack over the hips, ears can stack over the shoulders. It's much easier, relatively speaking, I say that with a dose of relativity, to sit up straight. Okay, so another thing to address maybe is the bend in the knees. Now, I have a lot of mobility and flexibility in my body. Remember, this is what I do for a living. If you don't look like me, it's okay. The practice of yoga is to meet your body where it is and to support your body in that shape. So just remember that. It's okay to look different. It's okay to feel different. What I would say though is if it's hard to get the legs straight, like if again it's feeling like there's a lot of tension in the front, if the legs just want to naturally bend, that's okay. Support that bend in the knee. You can take a folded blanket or again pillow underneath the knee joint so that the muscles around that knee can relax and soften here. And I'm just gonna, it's actually kind of nice. It feels very soothing to have a little bit of pressure at the back of the knee joint for me. And your legs don't have to get super wide. It can be a little bit more of a narrow V shape. So you can kind of explore that width for your body. And then one other thing, and I'll stop talking and let you breathe and settle into this shape, is maybe like folding forward from here isn't going to work for you right now because back muscles are tight. There's some limitation. That's okay. Again, we're going to build some props up to meet us where we're at. So I have this cushion, kind of like a couch cushion, that you can see it's fairly sturdy. So couch cushions are great for this, where I could just kind of rest that under my chin and sort of lean into it. So I'm taking all the tension out of my muscles. I'm supporting my body with my props, and I'm leaning forward into this just a little bit. It doesn't have to be big. In fact, I'd recommend doing like 40%, 50% at max of what you think you could do. So start off really shallow in these shapes. Right, so if you're still adjusting and adding props, take what you need. And then eventually maybe you can start to settle into this, find some stillness. I like to close my eyes when I'm in a shape for a period of time. I invite you to do the same if it feels good to you. We'll start to focus more on the breath. And so you might not feel like you're targeting your low back muscles. Maybe you're feeling this somewhere else in your body. And that's okay, because usually what's happening is the tissues that are tightest is where you're going to feel sensation first. So you just kind of note that, let it be true, and find that breath. And we'll take about 3 minutes here. Find a passive release. If you started upright in your seat and the body is calling you forward, please feel free to let yourself go forward. And if you've forced yourself to go forward and you need to back out and come back to that upright seat, just let yourself do that. It's okay to back out. It's always okay to back out. I have about just under a minute in this shape. So if you need to go deeper, if you need to back out, just know that that's the time that's left. Can you allow yourself to soften into this shape? It doesn't mean you have to go deeper, but just allowing the muscles to relax a little bit more is the invitation. Okay, so if you're deep into that fold, press into your hands and start to make your way back up to a seated position. And just take a few minutes to sit upright, breathing in and out. And then we'll start to transition to our next shape. So if your legs are stretched out straight, you can take your hands underneath the backs of the knees and rebend the legs. Our next shape is going to be a bit of a twist. And again, targeting the low back QL muscles. And so there's different levels of support, just like anything in restorative. I'm going to show you what I like to take, and then you can experiment and build your own support system. So first, I'm taking something that's like about the width and height of a block, a yoga block, and I'm just creating that with my blanket. So they have a little bit of a ramp to set my cushion on top of. And I'm going to come down to my left hip. My left hip's closest to the edge of this cushion. And most of my weight's on my left hip. I'm going to send my right knee behind my left foot. And then I'm going to turn and frame out this cushion. And then already I'm starting to feel this rotation, this twist. And then I'm going to see if I can get my belly and my chest to relax down onto the cushion. I'm going to set my left cheek on to the cushion first so that my head is in the same direction as my knees as I settle in. And then I'll give us an option to add on if desired. But we'll take some time here first with the head facing the same direction as the knees. Okay, so if you do want to add on to the shape, you could always lift your left cheek up and then turn your gaze away from your knees and set the right cheek back down onto the cushion. And that can be a lot on the cervical spine, on the neck. And if it's too much, just come back. Come back to that more neutral rotation of the spine. Always feel free to adjust the height of your ramp. Like I just removed my blanket, so I'm more flat against the floor. It's less of a ramp. It's more like I'm laying down on my belly. That feels better on my neck for now. Just being willing to experiment with your body and what it needs today. Relax your shoulders here. Relax your fingertips. Especially if you're rotating through the cervical spine, can you relax your jaw and your neck and soften your throat? So if you've got your right cheek on your cushion, start to unwind the neck first. Come back to left cheek down. We'll take a couple of breaths here in neutral with our spine. And then you can press up onto the hands and sit upright. And you can just simply roll to your right hip. I'm going to move my cushion to the opposite side so that I'm still facing you. So we're now on our right hip. Most of the weight's on the right hip. My left knee settles behind my right foot. And then I'm going to start off with the ramp. I'm going to transition my little blanket to the top here. So I have some reverse incline. And then my hands are framing out this cushion. See if I can get my belly and my chest and my right cheek to rest. First, I'll settle in here. Let's take some breaths together as you find this first shape. So you always want to approach your restorative shapes again with that 40 to 50% of your maximum capacity. Let your body settle into it easefully, gently. And then when the muscle tissue start to soften and release in your body, you'll know that sense. If you're not feeling it, then it's not releasing yet. So take your time, back out, add props. But when your body does start to tell you to go deeper, that's when you can get rid of props. That's when you can turn the gaze. So if you want to rotate through the neck, you can lift up your cheek and turn your left cheek down to the cushion. Let's see if we can get a little bit more of the chest and the belly on the cushion. And only stay in that rotation if it's working for you, if you can breathe easily, if you can swallow. If you've got your left cheek on your cushion, if you've turned your head away from your knees, slowly unwind the neck. Come back to that starting position. Take a few breaths there. Okay, and then we'll press up onto our hands. We'll lift our chest and come to that upright seat. And then turning, so both of your sits bones are on your mat. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Maybe you still have this cushion behind you. You can use that to your advantage here. We're going to come down to the back. So the chest and the rib cage is a little bit elevated. I'll just spend some time here lengthening out. Open up through the chest. Now here there's a little bit of compression in the low back. So we're kind of moving the spine and all of its ranges of motions, checking out what the agility is like in that part of the body. Spend about a minute here. And if you haven't done so already, you might spread your arms out. So there's a bit of a stretch across the front of the shoulder heads. Make sure that the back of your head is supported. Whatever you're laying on is long enough to support the back of the head. Okay, we're going to take that one step further with the compression to the low back by rolling off of our cushion. You're going to come onto your belly, move that cushion out of the way, come all the way onto the belly. So we're going to set up for a Sphinx shape. If you have something like a block or stacks of pillows or blankets that you can use to rest under your forehead at home, that's welcome. So elbows underneath the shoulders, forearms are parallel, palms facing down. And then again, you might take something underneath the forehead. You can also just leave the head lifted. We're not going to be here for too long. We'll stay here for about a minute. So this sensation, that compression in the low back might feel a little bit more intense. You can always walk your elbows forward, right? So you'll decrease the compression in the low back by walking the elbows forward or just wiggling the fingertips forward a little bit. And see if you can relax your glutes, your hips. You breathe here. You can let your chin draw into your chest. You can just kind of let your head hang. Breathing into the belly, especially with that compression of the belly into the floor. Take one more breath here. And then if you want, you can briefly press into your hands, lift the elbows. You can intensify this. So my elbows are lifting, my chest is moving away from the mat. My hands are spread wide at the top of my mat. And so I'm creating some space for my chest, my neck, my shoulders. And then if you've lifted your elbows, set them back down. We're going to walk the hands underneath the shoulders, pressing up and back to a child's pose. We'll spend a minute in child's pose. And so if you like, if it feels good, knees can be wide, big toes can be touching, the belly can relax onto the thighs or the space between the thighs as the arms stretch forward. You could always fold your hands underneath your forehead and rest your forehead on the backs of the hands too. So support your child's pose in whatever way that works for you. If there's a lot of space between the forehead and the floor, you can put something underneath the forehead. Let's come forward to tabletop to transition to our backs. So we're going to come down to our backs, and you might want something underneath the backs of the knees when you're ready for Shavasana. But before we go there, we're going to just do a little bit of prep work for Shavasana, kind of coming full circle with this work for the low back. So go ahead, lay down and bend your knees and plant your feet. Bring the inner edges of your feet together. Take your left knee off to the left, let that left thigh open, and then bring it back up towards the ceiling. The knees pointing up towards the ceiling, then right knee off to the right, let that thigh open. Bring that right knee back up. And you're just going to go side to side, nice and slow, super slow. There's no rush here. Left knee opens, and then right knee opens. This is just pumping blood flow back into the hips and also a little blood flow into the low back and the glutes, that whole supporting area, the muscles surrounding and below the QL. A couple more times to each side. And then if you like, if it feels good, we can take a minute here to take the soles of the feet together and let the knees open up. And maybe this is where the cushion underneath the outer edges of the knees or the outer edges of the thighs is helpful. It might be a nice little addition. It's going to be pretty intense on the inner thighs to let your knees fall open in this way. Settle into your breath here. All right, so last invitation to move your body. You can hug your knees into your chest. You can move towards happy baby. You could stretch your legs out and head right into Shavasana. We're just going to take a little bit of time in our transition. So our last shape is always Shavasana. It's so important to take that time to just lengthen out and let your body do nothing. Let everything work its magic passively. Let the mind wander. Let the thoughts flow. When you're ready for that shape, Shavasana, you can take it traditionally, lengthening out on your back, supporting maybe something underneath the backs of the knees might feel nice to help the low back lengthen. And then rolling your shoulders down your back, slightly tilting the chin in towards the chest. Find a comfortable position to rest your arms and your hands. Deepen the breath here. If you prefer to stay in Shavasana, please feel free to stay as long as you like. If you'd prefer to come up to a very brief seated meditation, we'll do a little bit of pranayama, a little bit of breath before we go about closing out our practice. So take your time, but making these choices on purpose, consciously. If you are coming with me to an upright seat, be sure your seat is supported and comfortable so you can sit tall with ease. And sit however is comfortable to you. Again, it doesn't have to look like me. If you'd like, you could take a little mudra, index finger and thumb tips touching is Jnana mudra. Palms facing down on tops of the thighs. Letting the shoulders slide down your back and pressing the head, the back of the head to the space behind you a little bit. Neutral breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Begin box breath, breathing in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Retain 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue breathing in this way on your own, silently counting your breath in increments of 4. The retention at the top and at the bottom of each inhale and exhale, let it be easeful, relax into it. And if it's causing more tension than anything else, then just let that retention go. You can simply inhale for a count of 4 and exhale for a count of 4. Try one more round on your own. And then let go of any counting, let go of any retention. Just allow your breath to return to normal. Become aware of how you feel right now. You take a moment to think of something or someone that you're grateful for. What comes to mind when you think of gratitude? What are you truly grateful for in this moment right now? Let it be something simple. Let your mind just gravitate towards that thing that comes up first. With gratitude in mind, let's join the hands together at the heart, bow the chin to the chest. Taking a moment here to honor our effort and our practice with reverence and that gratitude. May we use the fruits of this practice to serve our highest good, to reach our highest potential. May we share it with those around us that we love and who could use healing. May we send love and healing to all sentient beings around the world that may be suffering. May they be happy. May they be free. Namaste, yogis. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your practice. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope you come back again soon. Take care of yourselves in the meantime.